This episode is sponsored by Bemer Therapy. You guys can head to my website, click on the Bemer link, and it gives you all the insight about Bemer Therapy. But a great recovery tool. It's a medical device. Helps with blood flow, helps push out lactic acid, inflammation, helps with mental clarity, helps with sleep. There's a lot of science right now behind recovery therapy, and Bemer is definitely out there. So check that out. What's going on? My name is Tyson McGuffin. This is the McGuffin Show. We are on episode 23 here. We got crying babies in the background, so if you hear some crying babies, it seems like they're feeding off each other at the moment. Leah just walked in the house and it was kind of chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Sky's homesick. Banks is not sleeping, or she's not napping. And then if she's crying, Mac is always crying. So it's kind of funny. The first real night that we had, where we kind of had the whole gang together, was Monday night. Little man was up every single hour. That was pretty wild. He was up every hour. And at like 3 o'clock in the morning, finally Banks heard him crying. And so it was like both kids were crying. Banks is like 50 feet away from our room. She can hear Matt crying. And I remember like putting Banks to sleep and coming back in the room, and Meg and I looking at ourselves saying, holy crap, we are in for it. We are in for it. Anyhow, I am a father of a new baby boy. He's pretty cool. His name's Mac. Mac Attack, Mac Daddy, Mac and Cheese. So this episode, we're going to be talking about ATL. Chris Patrick, who is this guy? MLP Launch, Seahawks, PPA Vegas, SLK Balls, camp stuff, YouTube stuff, instructional nuggets. This girl over here has been doing work. She's kicked my ass a couple times in mixed. She just got back from ATL. If you guys watched that crazy mixed final, insane, and it was very late, and it seemed like it was a typical APP thriller with, lights are very dim.
Only one side.
Yeah, right. You can only see about 20% of the court. Keep throwing up lobs because nobody can see, or nobody can pop an overhead.
Yeah, we benefited from it.
But wild. Leia, how are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back from the South. I'm glad that that trip is over.
Yeah. So you played Orlando.
Yes.
And then you came home for a couple days.
Yep. And then I
may have made sense just to stay over there, but it is nice coming home.
So I actually took a red eye in that from last June. This last June, I didn't come back between any of the tournaments, and by week 4, I was ready to quit pickleball. So I made a conscious effort of this September. I was going to be going back home in between all the tournaments, and it's definitely helped my mental state of mind, but the travel's a little different.
Yeah, moderation, balance goes a long ways. Helps the puts you in a good headspace. And it seems like it's funny. Meg and I mean, when you have kids, the reality of taking a red eye on a Sunday night after the event doesn't happen. Yeah. But the single people that don't have kids, like Ben does it a lot. Like Ben will just head back to the airport, get there, late Sunday, maybe he wants to wake up in his bed Monday morning, or he's traveling to his next destination. But I think there's value in getting the heck out of there, getting home. It's kind of a rough flight, but at least you wake up Monday morning in your bed. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And especially after the way Orlando ended for me, I was ready to get out of that.
Ready to get out. But tell me, what was your experience on Tennis Channel? And I've already kind of talked about the Orlando event, but yeah, if you don't mind just giving us your insight, touching on it. Obviously, it rained from 12 to 2. I went to Starbucks. I was supposed to be coaching. I showed up it was my fault. I showed up 5-4 game 1. I'm like, shit.
No, you're good. It was a little different because we get out there, we're ready to hit the first ball, and then the rain came, so that was a little different. But going back and watching that was I mean, it was tough for me to watch, but the graphics were amazing. It was like really my first viewing of like, wow, pickleball can really become viewable. We have the right equipment.
Camera
and
production
everything.
was sick.
Yeah, it was great to see, and like so I thought it was a cool experience. It was a cool experience being the first one to play on there.
For sure.
I wish it would have gone a little bit different, but I definitely learned a lot from like the big stage. Like, I mean, you've obviously been on the big stage a lot before, but Tennis Channel added a lot for me.
It does for sure. Sure. It's a different setting. It's a different environment. You feel like there's a lot more people watching, and it holds some different value. Okay, so APP, talking about, obviously you didn't have you didn't play great in the finals. Anna Lee played exceptional, but seemed like we obviously practiced this morning. It seems like you're obviously keeping that match in the back of your head, and it seems like when you go to practice, there's certain little things that you're working on. Obviously, both the doubles and singles, but specifically, when it comes to like playing a match, like, I think this is a great viewer tip, right? Like playing a match like that, losing, and then coming back to the drawing board and saying, hey, like, here's my X's and O's. I know what I did wrong. I'm gonna dedicate time in practice working on those things, and I'm gonna keep that in the back of my head as ammo. I think I've kind of lived that way, like keeping losses and keeping bad losses, or like when I don't play well, kind of using that as ammo. Prime example, I lost to Jay 2 times in a row, and over a few weeks leading up to Orlando, we played a bunch of singles. Jay was on my mind way too much, and I went into that match mentally very prepared. I'd ran it through my head probably over 3 weeks, just what I was going to do, put myself in successful positions, and I played very well. But I think that goes a long ways, right? Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that I noticed from that is I can say that she definitely out prepared for me. I've been playing singles off of athleticism and instinct, and I learned I have to start going in with like actual game plans and getting that first strike against her and dictating the play that I want to play if I'm just reacting to her and not really going in with how I want to play and working on those specific shots that I need to work on. I can't just go into a match and turn it on. So it was a good learning experience, and now I know what I need to work on. Have a roadmap. Yep. Okay. I mean, it's simple as that. Against some of the best players in the world. I mean, being reactionary, not having a roadmap, not having a plan. Good luck. Yeah. Good luck. The level's too good now. Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I like it. Okay, so the first thing on my list here is APP ATL. A couple things that I noted was the mixed final. The Johns boys obviously won dubs. 18-year-olds knock off Jay and Adam. Lea win singles. It rained a whole lot, and give us a little taste of that prize money, girl. So what'd you get in singles? Singles, so the field dropped below 8, so it was 2,500 for the females, but for the males, I believe it was over three grand, like 3,200, something like that. Better than some of the PPA stuff. Get out of here. Exactly. Because Ken pays out more for singles, right? Yes, and come on, Connors. It was just like the USAPA. Got it. Won because it was that golden ticket. Right. It was a regional, right? Yeah, pretty well funded, and then the doubles was split between 4,500. So that not a bad weekend, especially for the singles front. Singles lovers, for sure. Really like those singles junkies. Yeah. Okay, so there was obviously a little drama. There was plenty. So just give us what in the heck was going on there. Okay, so so there was a couple things, right? So the Sarah and Corinne thing, and then I feel like you told me something else. They're failing to put stream Ben. Okay, that, and then was there something else? Come on, I feel like we talked about so much yesterday on the phone, and it was all gossip about APP ATL, maybe not. But okay, so first and foremost, Sarah and Corinne, just tell us what happened. So, as Tyson said, there was a lot of rain that weekend, as there was in Orlando, and so we were in the middle of our second game, and the rain came, so we went on a slight rain delay, and there were a few posts put out that, of course, I read after I got done playing my final,
And so in one of the posts, it was addressed that only Sarah had stayed at the site, which was inaccurate because me and Michelle were in our cars in the parking lot, actually. So the rain came from the previous day. We all knew, or most people should know, once the rain came on mixed day, me and Jay went right to the covered courts.
Right. And so there's 4. So it's in Griffin, Georgia. There's 4 covered courts.
4 covered
there
courts.
There is literally nothing in Griffin, Georgia, but this beautiful pickleball facility. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
There's a good little barbecue place. I taught a level up camp there, I don't know, about 2 years ago. And Kyle and I, pretty sure we ate lunch and dinner at the same barbecue place. Anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah. So and the radar didn't look good. But as most people can attest for, the radar changed. So about 10 or 15 minutes into the rain delay, it stopped raining. And then we got called onto the covered courts. Basically, Corinne was not there for the match. I didn't really know what the communication was between it all. Mm-hmm. Corinne was, once we got the text that we were going on the covered courts, from my understanding, Sarah popped in and said, well, something happened. But by that point, the clock had started. And first off, when I am playing doubles with a person, as I think everybody should, like you can attest for it, you're going to battle with them that day. So whoever, I don't care who they are, that's my teammate for the day. That's
my go-to.
That's my girl. So and Michelle had a little bit of background. I no names mentioned, but there was an opponent there who had defaulted Michelle previously from a match for being 1 minute late. So regardless, the time started. We got off the courts, and from there, the APP head referee ruled that Corinne couldn't play because she was not at the site on time. And so that had been ruled. Me and Michelle decided to then go warm up for our next match. As we're warming up for our next match on court with Lauren Stratman and Andrea Coop, we get called off. And at this point, I think the APP head referee had received some pressure from our opponents and kind of backtracked on his position. And his position from the beginning was that we had to go by the rule book, and Corinne was late. You have a match time, you need to be there. Especially, I think when you're mid-match and there's covered courts, you don't really want to be too far from the venue.
No, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
You don't want to be too far from the venue. So I think he received a little pressure from the opponents, and so when we get over there, we are asked by the APP head referee if we want to go play the match. But they can't, this was what I had, and my partner had said is, by this point, we're already mentally preparing. We were literally about to serve the first ball in the final.
Right.
He had made the decision. The APP head referee made the decision, not under influence of anyone, right, because he was going by the rule book. So for them to ask us, all we answered was, you guys can't do this. You can't put it on us. And that's what we said. And we went back out to the courts. And then obviously, while we're playing the final, the social media posts are put out. So,
dun, dun, dun.
And that's the way it is.
Right, right.
I can say for myself and for Michelle Escobar, we don't really play the victim too well. We're pretty fiery, we're pretty competitive, and we are how we are on the court. However, this was a decision made by the APP head referee, and I think he should have stood behind it. And when opponents are in his face yelling at him to put it on us, I think is a little unprofessional. But so that's the story. In my opinion, I was defaulted from junior tennis matches showing up a minute late. John McEnroe was stuck in New York traffic for 3 hours. You have a match time, you need to be there. This is this is a professional event.
Right.
And
simple as that.
Yeah, and especially when you're mid-match and there's covered courts, I think it's a little risky to be leaving that far. And especially me and Michelle did have the lead in this second game. We were on a run. We didn't want a lot of lag time in between. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. A lot of people are going to have their opinions, but you go by the rules. If you don't go by the rules, there's consequences. And as we stated before, there's money on the line.
Yeah.
And this was a big tournament. And, yeah, and I don't think I have got, like, I got a few Instagram messages saying, I heard your partner was complaining about it and you should have stepped in. And here's the thing. The head referee.
Right. It's not on you.
Yeah. The head referee made the decision. Even if my partner said anything, which I don't know if she did, she is in the right. She is in the right.
It's disrespectful to the ref that, it's the whole Matt Wright thing. It's like, I mean, you were in that position, right? Yeah. You didn't want to do it, but, he kind of pushed everybody around. And so what? Everybody had to serve once to, redo it. And it's disrespectful to Larry Scott.
Yes.
You guys...
Yeah.
Who I'm not going to say who the referee was, but whoever that person was, it's their decision.
Yeah, so it was,
and it's disrespectful for you guys to,
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of think that we were used kind of as a bailout. The decision was already made 20 to 25 minutes before, and then I think he got yelled at for a while. And before we're about to serve the first ball for a gold medal match, at this point, I mentally prepared. You're going to go do this. So, but shout out to Michelle. I thought she battled great after all of that. And I know our opponents, were kind of saying some stuff behind her back while she's playing and hitting balls, and for her to just kind of zone in and play good. And we almost came out with the game to 15 was good. So lots of drama that I think could have been avoided by the APP head referee.
For sure. Interesting. Female heat.
And
female fire.
That does it. Yeah. There
I'm going to tread lightly. I'll let her talk about this.
Oh, I can talk about this.
I will shut up.
As a female, I can say, yeah, we're a little more competitive. We forget a little bit less. We definitely want to dig in a little bit more. But that wasn't really this case. This case was just kind of like, be there for the match time. I'm sorry if there were other circumstances. I don't think you should be leaving the venue that far away when there are covered courts. And I can say, going forward, I know, I fully expected if I'm ever late to a match and if I'm ever faced with that circumstance, I should face the consequences.
For sure. It's pretty self-explanatory. Principle here is that if it rains, you should stay close. You should stay close to the site. You should be
especially if
texting
there's no communication given out.
Text the tournament director, check in, know where you're at. You were in full control of your destiny there. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then give us a little. When the heck is that? Give us some insight on the Johns, and it seems like some of the Johns matches were not streamed on the APP. Was it APP YouTube page or was it ESPN? Sorry,
I think it was the YouTube page.
Okay.
Yeah. So the winners bracket final
was played on court 8.
No, the men's winners bracket final, was played against Jay DeVilliers and the Johns brothers, and Adam Stone.
Okay.
Was played on court 8. Not even close to. There's 2 center courts.
Was not streamed.
It was not streamed, and then Lauren Stratman and Ben Johns. They had played all up into the winners bracket final, their matches on the side courts, which is fine. But the winners bracket mixed final that Andrea Coop and Zane Navratil happened to beat them in straights was not streamed, even though it
what's
was played
going on here? Sounds like some some pride talking. Very interesting, and I mean. I mean, Zane, the number 1 APP player.
Actually, right now, Jay is.
Sorry.
Jay is,
but, yes. For the APP, not to stream some of the Johns matches or, not to get any coverage of Ben. I'm going to tread lightly here, but it seems a little unfair.
I mean,
But I mean, obviously, if it's your tour, you can do whatever you want to do. But
we can assume, what it is. But his winners bracket final against Zane was also not streamed on either one.
So
of the
both
center
winners bracket final. So men's winners bracket.
men's singles.
Men's singles.
All three really.
There we go. So his all three winners bracket finals, you believe were not streamed.
Yeah, I know that. But I'm not saying that Ben even cares about this.
No, he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
He doesn't even care. I just think for the viewers and growing the sport, you obviously want to showcase the best player in the world against players that he normally doesn't play against. A Zane and Ben matchup is not one that we see often.
We like to see it. We like to see it. And talk about a great display of the clash of APP and PPA right there, baby. Very intriguing. Don't know if it's helping the sport. It seems like
I think just better coverage and really showing.
And something I'm going to say honestly is that the APP coverage, Kyle Solenko and his whole team does a great job.
Oh yeah, and I love the two center courts.
The two center courts, the close-ups, the wide angle from the kitchen. I personally believe they do a better job than the PPA. Now, Tennis Channel, very, very different coverage.
A whole new production.
And Championship Sunday, they obviously bring in the big ESPN truck. There's $1 million worth of camera equipment in there. So obviously, Championship Sunday looks great, but the days leading up, I mean, nothing against the PPA because I love Connor Pardo, love Connor Ogden, but like all I'm gonna say here is that I do believe the APP does a good job with their stream, and it seems like just the days leading up to Championship Sunday, it's just not as sharp. It's more bird's eye. There's not as many close-ups. If you guys watched Orlando PPA, I don't know who was commentating, but I believe it was just some of the PPA team. And I'm not no disrespect at all. Love the PPA guys, but. I'm just giving credit here to the APP because I think Kyle Solenko does a damn good job.
Yeah, he does. I think Kyle does a great job.
He does.
And super professional.
Yeah, he's got that hair flowing. He's got that hair. I don't know when the last time the guy showered.
He looks like he's from the West
Coast. He's just ratty.
Looks like he should live in Bend.
He's ratty. But I like Mr. Solenko. Cool dude. So he actually used to play. He's a
good 5-0 player.
Yeah. He would practice with Sincola and the Badger and Zane. Yeah. He's got a little game. But anyhow, Kyle Solenko, what is good, my man? You're doing a great job. So it was cool spending some time together and chatting in beautiful Brigham City, Utah. We were chatting up before the men's final indoors, and we had to go indoors, and we're watching the senior guys play. And I was having a nice little conversation with Kyle. So we had a little rain. In the bronze medal match, we had J-Dub, Dylan Frazier, 18 years old. Both are 18 years old, correct? Or
yes.
Are they, okay, both 18 years old.
Yeah, I think J-Dub.
Similar games, ringers, lots of upside. They had a nice little W, beat Jay and Adam. I don't know if that was a carryover of Adam and Jay losing to the Johns boys, and.
And Jay pulled out a singles.
Jay pulled out a singles
Sunday. I know on mixed day he was telling me his knee was bothering him, and the guy's been playing a ton of pickleball this year. For sure.
So. And I honestly don't know how well he takes care of his body. I know what I do, and I just don't know if Jay is taking care of himself. Granted, I'm 31, he's 26, right?
Yeah.
26.
Yeah. So, I think that's a partnership that we're probably going to see a lot of next year is the Johnson-Frazier partnership, and I think the public really encourages it, as they should. It's two young, promising prospects kind of doing damage from the beginning of the year in January to where they are now.
Night and day.
They've made huge strides, so it's pretty cool and impressive. And Dylan actually had another good singles day, beating J-Dub.
Yeah.
He fell to Sincola twice, but Sincola can get hot, so and the kid doesn't even have anywhere. Your backhand is an all-star backhand to that kid. It's just, he doesn't even know what to do.
No, he just dumps it. He dumps it and he comes in.
And he's had match points on Zane. He's beaten J-Dub now 3 times. He's played Jay close.
Yeah, it's wild. He's talented. He's talented. And
talented
no racket sport background.
Yeah.
said this before, tip down technique. He hits the serve with the tip being down. He dinks with the tip being down. He speeds up with the tip being down. He drives, and it's like the elbow is lodged in. There's a ball in his armpit. Like, it's so short and tight, but he gets good power. He plays some, he plays some good cat and mouse.
His court sense is
defends well. Yeah, he's got good court sense.
Good anticipation, which I feel like is big for singles.
Yeah. Dude's got some game. I have not played him yet in singles, but for him to have some wins over J-Dub, comes to show the guy's got some game. Let's see. So obviously you won singles. So run us through that gain to 15. Sorry, the mixed gain to 15. So you obviously won the singles. You took silver in women's, and then the mixed final.
So actually, me and Jay, I wouldn't say Andrea and Zane actually killed us. I wouldn't say we both were hitting our stride that day, but like a true competitor that Jay is, he picked it up when we're down a game in 10-7, and actually Coop played out a great point and on her match point and just went back to Jay, and Jay came up with this clutch play, and it was almost like that's what he needed, and we came back and we won that game.
It's funny how that can start the trickle effect.
Yeah, and the third game, we faced another match point after Zane hit a let cord over our head, and we came back and won that point after he lifted an overhead, and we won that game. Then we were up about 14.
Well, hang on. 10-9-2. Right. 10. She's didn't talk much of this. 10-9-2 is insane. And I mean, it's tougher than hell to see. I'm I had turned the live stream on, and right when I turned it on, I don't know, it was like 10-7 game 3, and I'm like, oh my gosh, or I don't know, 10-8, whatever. And yes, I saw the point. I don't even know what happened. Zane, did Zane drop a third and you guys floated? I don't know.
So we clashed in the middle or something like that.
Yeah. Did he drive?
He drove, and I think me and Jay clashed in the middle, and it just went up.
And he had an overhead in transition.
Yeah.
Literally, in transition,
Yeah, it was.
And literally whiffs it.
Whiffed it.
I mean, poor guy.
Spun around, and then Jay was able to put it away. And then we were up 14-9 in that game to 15. And credit to Coop and Zane. They played some big points, and we missed. I mean, you only miss the shots. Think of the shots that you miss. And I remember
World's
missing
critic.
A fourth, and I remember missing a dink when I was dinking pretty well that whole match.
Isn't that funny how you you can have a great day, counter well all day, highlight real shots, but at the end of the day, when you go home and you get in bed, what is on your head?
Yeah,
it's all the yucky stuff that took place. It's funny how that works.
I definitely missed, and then at 15-14 too, the overhead that Zane actually hit was in the back fence, but it hit me in the arm, and I just couldn't get out of the way. So that was a hard night's sleep, but kind of now I can look back on it and think my mixed game now today it's come a long way since at the beginning of the year. So I just kind of have to remember those, and yeah, credit to them. It's
keep chipping away, girl.
Yeah,
keep chipping away. It's a long season.
I do have to say the best thing about playing with Jay is you really appreciate the competitor that guy is.
For sure.
Mean, just even on his worst.
Fierce.
Yeah, worst of worst or best of best.
Yeah,
he still finds it, and he raises his level, and he's a super positive partner, and he really keeps you going throughout the day. So it was a lot of fun.
Like that. Never say never. Find a way, just like what Lea talked about. I mean, I think what separates the people that end up on the podium compared to the people kind of in that 5 to 10 range is even if it's a C+ game or it's a B- game, find a way. It could be ugly, raise the energy, but just be a competitor. And I guarantee if you dig in and you find that inner competitor, you will find it, you will find it. And I mean, just like what you mentioned, once you have just a couple of highlight reel points, you win a couple big points, and it can just raise the notch a bit, and then from there you can see light at the end of the tunnel, but it's those big crucial momentum points of maybe you should win the point, but you do, and you're not playing well, and then all of a sudden it gives you just that little ounce of confidence, and you can take off from there.
Yeah, I mean, that's my biggest knock on myself in the Anna Lee match that I was telling you this morning is, when I would stay back or something, it's I'm not even thinking, and I hate to say I'm bailing out, but in a way, it's almost a tank if you're staying back and not thinking about your shot or not trying to play more shots and you're just swinging for the fences, that to me is almost a tank. And sometimes you don't mean to, but you just have to be more aware of it.
For sure. Okay. I'm going to note here that the Johns boys won the men's. Andrea Coop and
Lauren
Stratman won the women's.
Yes.
And
Mr. Ben Johns won.
Mr. Ben Johns won the singles. You won the singles, and the mixed final was crazy. Zane and Coop. Zane's playing well. The last two APPs.
With multiple different partners.
Double gold.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. He won the last APP with Coop, right?
No. He won it with Susanna Barr. And then he won the previous one.
I forgot.
The previous one with Michelle Escobar. So Zane's kind of
Come
been on the
baby.
mixed hot streak.
Zane's just floating around. But you put Zane with multiple people, and he can do it.
Yeah.
Sets the tone with the serve. Sets the tone with the drive. His hands look better.
Yeah. He's
serve
starting.
Is nasty.
His serve is ridiculous. Can't wait for 22.
How many missed returns? Just tell me. Did you guys?
The first round, he ate me up because I haven't played Zane in forever. I haven't played him since Indy, and he's added more to it. So the second round, Jay gave me the spiel, and he was also behind his back pointing where the ball would go. So we didn't miss as many. It's just it's the fact that even if you're making the return, it's setting up the drive. There's so many volleys that you're hitting in the transition zone that you have to take pace off. So it's a huge advantage.
Yeah. Viewer tip, you're getting pushed back on the return. You're hitting your fourth ball in transition. You see your opponent's closing. If you're not comfortable beating them head to head, just like Lea said, if they've been eating your lunch. In hand speed battles, just dump that puppy short in the kitchen. Beat them in a soft game.
Yeah.
Smart. I like it. Okay. Off of ATL. So who is Chris Patrick? Who is this guy? Seems like.
Who is he?
Seems like he's a man in the sport trying to be relevant. He's like a 4-0 player, correct?
I think he's a little bit higher than that. He played in the pro draw in Atlanta. I saw him back in the ATL playing in the pro draw.
Stop it. Anyhow, looks like he is kind of managing a couple players on tour. I think we're kind of getting in a position now where more brands are coming in the game. There's some bigger deals out there. It seems like there's different format of deals. Anyhow, it seems like he's trying to manage some of the top players. I don't know a lot about him. I just know that he used to be an NBA agent. I think it's great for the sport. I think on the flip side, I think there's a lot of scammy stuff taking place in pickleball where some people are being used, or there's some people that are acting like they know what they're doing and they're putting players in tough positions and maybe putting them in bad deals. All in all, you got to know who you're working with. And if this is your livelihood, if this is your business, get to know that person really well. And if they don't love you, if they don't like you, if they don't like your brand, it is not worth it. That's kind of what I've lived by. I just signed with a company called Top Notch Management, a company based out of Cleveland, Ohio. It's taken a lot off my plate. But do you have any information on Mr. Patrick?
No, not a ton. But yeah, I think with all these kind of people, I know there's another agent, Linda, as well, who's kind of worked with some players. I think all these kind of people coming in have just kind of taught me that this is growing at a rapid rate, and it's not so much like you definitely have to be careful of who you're putting in your corner and making sure the people in your corner
tight.
Yeah, and make sure the people in the corner like really believe in you even through the toughest times, because if you don't have someone advocating for you, if that person's in your corner going to other people not really advocating for you, that's tough. So yeah, it's definitely changing even from when I came in.
And it's still a little social, and it's still kind of like
change more.
For sure. It's still half middle school party. Everybody's trying to hang out, socialize, like they get the most out of showing up to tournaments. That's all gonna change when most people have an agent and there's more money involved and there's bigger deals on the line.
And there's like this weekend. I mean, there's a lot of prize money on the line. A lot of us have matches from certain companies, so it's not only, it might be a difference of $1,500, but if you add in a couple matches,
come on.
And in your position, you're feeding a family. We're paying
babies
bills.
to feed. Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure. So I think we're gonna go more and more away from it, as we should.
Yeah. A couple of. It seems like Adidas just built some paddles. Kind of just built some paddles. Looks like a few other brands are coming in the game. Fila, Lotto, Perry Ellis, Skechers. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But okay, so MLP Launch. Did you check out that launch?
So I heard about it, and I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah. Irina spoke. I thought she did a very good job. Jesse spoke. Did a very good job.
I thought everyone who spoke. Dave Fleming.
It's great.
He's the best.
Come on. Fleming, he was the intro.
You got it.
Yeah, he was great. Something to note here, though, is that James Blake is an owner. He's the owner of the Lions. But kind of cool. They announced all the owners. They have their first event coming up this November.
Draft and the Texas Open.
Draft October 1st or 2nd, something like that.
Nice. It's coming up.
Kind of cool. So 16 male players, 16 female players. How many teams? 8 teams?
8 teams.
8 teams. Okay. But cool for the sport. Looks like there's some big wigs that are owners of these teams. And I just think overall it's great for the sport, holds a lot of value. It's at a beautiful location there at Dreamland. Steve Kuhn has done a great job with just expanding that place is like a festival.
Oh yeah. I've never been there.
Cows cruising around, got the farm. It's concert venue. A bunch of outdoor games. Yeah, pickle. It's like a chicken and pickle, but on I don't know how many acres, but the thing is massive. And I know some of the pro players, Deckel Barr, Rob Nunnery, Vivian David, Sarah David, are all, I don't know if you want to call them resident pros, but they are living there. Kind of cool. So they're living there. They're training out of there. They're teaching out of there. So I think it was a great opportunity for those 4.
I think Deckel and Viv are going to be playing together a lot next year.
So
that's pretty cool. It's going to be a new team.
Yeah, that what Deckel did against.
I bet Deckel, that guy can Ernie like no other.
I mean, it was sick. How creative it was with the Ernie. How much he plugged middle with that big forehand. Beat Ben head to head with that clubby pursuit.
And Vivian's got a great counter.
Vivian, yeah, right. And disregard Deckel. Okay, Deckel just does a little slice. Vivian played great. God, I mean, she didn't miss a drop, didn't miss a dink. Anytime Ben came at her, she slid. She found the two-hander, countered well, got that sucker down.
Yeah, she's got. You got to think twice about going to a backhand counter. It's pretty. Not only the best thing about hers is
she sits down.
Yeah, a lot of us have a lot of power, but we'll go through you. So the guys can kind of get. But Vivian, if you go there and she hits it, it's going straight down. You have no chance to recounter her counter, and I think that's what really makes her tough.
Yeah. And she's a sweetheart.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't get much sweeter than that. Okay, so off of MLP, all you Seahawk lovers out there, they just completely blew it. They're up, 30-16. Russ just throws a TD, late in the fourth quarter. And then Derrick Henry... If you know Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
come on, played for Bama. I mean,
Bama.
This guy just ran all over our defense and was just disgusting. The guy had 18 carries, 160 stupid rushing yards, and I mean, talk about a specimen. 6'2", 240. If you guys get a chance, go on YouTube. Just take a look at some of his workouts. They're stupid. Derrick Henry. Pretty sure he eats children for breakfast. I'm going to keep my kids away from him. But anyhow, the guy is he just ran all over our defense. Russell played pretty well, but we ended up losing a tough one in overtime. So not what I wanted to see. Something I want to note here is if you guys are on Spectrum. Or I guess you can order NFL Red Zone off of any platform, whether it's like Hulu or Spectrum or your TV coverage. Anyhow, NFL Red Zone is badass. I usually watch the Seahawks game by itself, but if I'm not watching the Seahawks, NFL Red Zone all day, it has all the games going. It just bounces around from each game. At the very end, like the last 30 minutes, it shows all the touchdowns of the day. Anyhow, get NFL Red Zone, very worth it. I am a true fan. Okay, PPA Vegas. Looks like you're taking off today. We squeezed a little session in this morning. Looks like so I am not playing PPA Vegas this weekend. I'm trying to be, a supportive husband here. I told my wife that I would stay for a week and a half when she had banks, or I would stay for 2 weeks, or something like that. Anyhow, when she had banks, she had them on a Sunday. I had left on a Tuesday. I felt very guilty about it. I went and played Chicago APP. Anyhow, just trying to do things a little different this year, and obviously we have more troops, and it just made sense that I stay here.
Take a week off.
Yeah. Okay, but you're playing at the Plaza. Don't catch yourself hanging out in the casino because you will be choking on that cigarette smoke. I always say that the Plaza. Like you'll see you'll see an elderly person in there. If it's a female, she's usually in like an Adidas tracksuit from like the 50s, and she's smoking a Virginia Slim. That is the type of casino that or that's the type of people that hang out at the Plaza. Nothing against those people, but it's just a little rundown, And in Old Town Vegas, it's just different from the new strip. But if you are in that area, go to Fremont. You know where Fremont?
Yeah.
Fremont is just insane. That is probably like the best part of Old Town Vegas. The courts are not ideal. Nothing against the PPA. No disrespect to the PPA at all. Just it's a sick venue because it's 5 courts up, but just a rundown hotel, and then the courts are. It's like they've been run over by like by like some heavy equipment. They're just so gritty.
Tough to see.
Yeah. And so a couple years ago, there used to be pools up there, and then they wiped everything out, threw in I don't know how many pickleball courts, and then there's a little pool and like a bar and stuff. But a couple years ago, Morgan and I played up there, played with a Franklin ball. And it was about 102 degrees, and you're 5 floors up, and there's like no wind up there. It's just beating down in you. And like with how slow the courts were, and how hot it was, and how mushy the ball was, it was complete rat ball. Like it was so slow, and it was so tough to put the ball away. And the Franklin ball was so eaten up by the courts because of how rough they were. I could not imagine playing singles on those courts. Torn ACLs all day.
Yeah, I think that's why there's no singles.
No,
there.
Of course. Yeah. Anyhow, who are you playing with?
I'm playing with Irina in women's and Deckel in mixed.
Deckel, just say Deck. Do all that Ernie stuff, dog.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
And then so you're playing with Deckel, and then you are playing with Irina. We have some different matchups. If you don't mind, tell us those matchups over there. So start with the mixed.
All right, mixed. We have Catherine and Tyler.
Yeah.
We have Ben and Simone. We have DJ Young and Jesse Irvine.
Some different matchups here.
Joey Farias and Joy Leasing. We have me and Deckel. We're a new partnership. Brian Ashworth and Tracy DeJagger.
Trashworth. Come on. Do you know Trashworth?
I've never had the privilege.
He's a legend. He's a cool dude, for sure.
And then Warnick and McGrath. Jeffrey Warnick, Christine McGrath. We got Colin Johns and Irina. They've played a few together now. And then we got the Newmans back in action.
I want to know when the last time CJ made a podium without Ben. Tell me that. Come on.
I don't know. I don't keep track.
Okay.
Hopefully you're in PPA Vegas. Because that's where I'm playing with CJ. So that's when he's going to do it.
There we go, baby. No disrespect, CJ.
Let's go to the men's, because the men's got some interesting ones as well. I believe Deacon pulled out. So we got... we have Brian Ashworth and Nicholas Williams.
Nick Williams. If anybody knows Nick Williams, one of the best tennis players to come out of UW, Played number 1 for the men's team. Cool dude. He was a complete legend a couple years ago. Played at a very high level. He's the top 5 dude, and had a couple kids. Has taken some time off. He's in his 40s. The guy's got game. He's got game.
We have Austin Gridley and Mario Barrientos. He played with him in
it's a good little team.
Chicago. Yeah, they're unorthodox, and
they had a couple of decent wins. Yeah,
they beat J-Dub and Johnny Goldberg.
Yeah.
DJ Young and Matthew Chow. Paul Johnson and Ryan Gilbert.
Okay.
Rob Nunnery and Deckel Barr.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Loong, Spencer Smith. The classic in the front runners, that is Jeffrey Warnick and Joey Farias.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And AJ Kohler is taking your spot with Riley.
Yep.
So that would be an interesting team. AJ's playing good.
AJ's playing well,
they're
for sure.
both kind of left side players, I would say.
Chet Subaru.
Yeah.
Chetty. As long as he wears the headband all day, he can take my place.
There you go.
Actually, no. He's got to wear his khaki shorts, throw on the Skechers mall walking shoes, and wear that silly headband, please.
So not a big field already,
right?
But
for sure.
But there's some interesting teams, so we'll see how that one goes.
Okay.
We got and then there's only 4 for the women. It's me and Irina, Simone and Catherine, Callie Smith and Christine McGrath, and Jesse Irvine and Lindsay Newman. So the Jesse and Lindsay actually used to play together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good team.
Yeah, so
good team.
That would be. I'm sure we'll do a round robin. We'll see.
Right. Okay. SLK balls. Selkirk just came out with a ball. I have played with it. I'm going to be using it for my camps. So letting all the campers know that we're going to be using that SLK. But yeah, it's a good ball. I feel like it's a mixture of the Dura and the Franklin. I know everybody and their grandma's trying to make a ball right now, but yeah, it's durable. I have not seen the ball crack. I'm getting plenty of good spin. I would say it's probably more on the forgiving side, like a Franklin, versus the stiffer, more challenging side, the Dura. But yeah, it's a great ball. It stays round, and I've been using it in temperatures of 50 to 70 degrees, and it's been just fine. So, so kudos to Selkirk for launching that. Also, too. Be sure to subscribe to the Selkirk TV platform. Lots of good content on there. My podcast is on there. The instructional videos are on there. And if you guys have seen some of the new clips and some of the new highlights that Selkirk TV is doing, super cool looking, but they are taking match finals, PPA finals, and let's say the final is anywhere from best 3 out of 5. It's anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. Well, they chop it down into an 8 to 10 minute video, and it's all the highlights of the match. Anyhow, super cool. They're doing stuff like that. They're obviously you can watch full matches. They have little one minute highlights. Anyhow, lots of cool clips on there. They're reusing the content. Get over to that platform and do yourself a favor. Okay, camp's coming up. We have Dallas coming up. There is 20 campers so far, hoping to get to maybe 24, 32. 20 is a good number, though. K-Mac will be there throwing down. If we get some more numbers, then we will add some more pros. OKC directly after. Dallas is after the PPA on that Monday, Tuesday. And then K-Mac and I are flying to beautiful OKC. Never been to OKC, and I don't think it's beautiful. But flying to OKC on Wednesday. Holding it down at Chicken and Pickle Thursday, Friday, and then yeah, I actually have some more teaching taking place in the month of October. Heading to Missouri the weekend after, and then doing a camp after PPA Vegas. So head over to my website. It's TysonMcGuffin.com. Check out the camps. Check out what I'm doing on the tournament side. You can check my sponsors, and also too, do yourself a favor and buy some TM gear, please. Lea, any last notes here for the viewers?
Actually, yeah. So I'm gonna give a shout out to the blog that they asked. So
yeah, no.
Yeah, okay. So there's this. I gotta give a shout out.
This is off the record. Is it Zane?
We don't know who it is.
Got it.
Still don't know who it is. Right. Anyway, so it could be though.
Right.
So I have to give a shout out to my favorite blog, No Man's Land Pickleball. So I don't know who they are, but
Secret.
they're anonymous, and basically I think it's good for the sport to have these opinions on players and what's going on, and just kind of giving some outside feedback. I know they're players. No one knows if they're pro players or not. Some people speculate or whatever, but basically they just kind of give they used to hate on me, and now they've kind of changed.
You won them over.
Yeah, they changed their directions, but they kind of just give a bunch of hot takes. They give tournament
while very educational.
Yeah,
it is.
The tournament stuff. Sometimes they have spies on the sidelines because they know they say stuff on the side in their report that I'm like, how the hell do you guys know that?
Who is this?
If you guys have time, check it out.
And that
It's
blog,
called No Man's Land Pickleball.
No Man's Land Pickleball.
Yeah.
Also subscribe to the Dink's newsletter. Lots of great stuff on there. The Dink is now doing a podcast. It's called the Pickle Pod, right?
Yes.
Pickle Pod with Tyson Apostle and Thomas Shields, and they have various guests on there. Also check out the Freestyle Boys. And I mentioned in episode 21, check out Full Send Podcast with Kyle, Salim, and all those dudes. Very good content. My name is Tyson McGuffin. This is the McGuffin Show. We will see you guys in episode 24. Take care.